Guess who's back? Back again. This guy moving the chains. We're back at it. How are we doing? I know it's a little dry period right now for football, but I got to put content out. It's been a little bit. I've had some time to kind of decompress. So, yesterday, as I'm at work, I'm driving around, I'm trying to get crap done. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, Bengals caved in. They gave the two receivers. Jamar Chase, we'll start with him. Arguably the best receiver in football outside Justin Jefferson. You can argue 1A, 1B, wherever order you want. But he got 4 years, $161 million. And T. Higgins, his counterpart, the Robin to the Batman, that's Jamar Chase, got 4 years, $115 million. So the Bengals have the three-headed monster now, Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. So that's a good thing for the Bengals. But I want to counter-argument that. I don't think it's a good thing, though. Because, as I was hearing today, maybe the Bengals are trying to take a book out of the Peyton Manning Colts, where, you have all the cap hits of four guys. And my dad just mentioned it, like, that's for every team. I get that. But I also got to look at it from a standpoint of, okay, yes, but why are you not, T. Higgins should be, or Trey Henderson, should be signed too. Now, maybe they're holding out. Maybe they're waiting until he can get money, whatever. But I kind of think the Bengals are going this theory of, okay, let's put up 30, pin your ears back, and let's go hunt the quarterback. That's great in theory. But we also got to mention, where does Cincinnati play? Oh, wait. Max Lawson's division, the AFC North, which, by the way, has crappy and shitty weather for about 4 months near the end of the year. I mean, from November till January on, it's crap. And that concerns me with the Bengals because they're trying to build this kind of indoor-ish Colts team. You're failing at it because I can put up points all I want, but I got to run the football. I got to get a better offensive line. Joe Burrow's been getting his bell rung and his ass beat. And again, it goes back to this. You have choices in life and choices as an organization. The Bengals wanted to go with, they had their choices between Penei Sewell and Jamar Chase. And Derek Solomon knows this as good as anybody. Mike Kesnick, two of the biggest Lion fans I know. They went the right guy, Jamar Chase. Now, or Penei Sewell, excuse me. It's not to knock if they took Jamar Chase over Penei, whatever. Both players would have wound up making all pros, and they were all-timers. But it just goes to show you where the importance of offensive line play is in Detroit compared to Cincinnati. Because I think with the Zach Taylor-led Bengals, they're a little soft, they're finesse, you can push them around. Now, this is not to say that they're a bad football team. They've been to a Super Bowl. It's not knocking them. But, I got to see more. And they had Joe Mixon, they let him go. And I get it, when you're the quarterback of your future, which Joe Burrow is, Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow. When you get that guy, you do whatever you got to take. And he's a max guy. I understand that. Joe Burrow, as long as that window's there and the Bengals have him as their quarterback and he's upright and healthy, that's a plus. But you also got to look at his health, man. He's been hurt a little bit. He's had some injuries, got sacked 70 times during that Super Bowl run. It's still remarkable that he's still alive after that beating he took, including that 9-sack game against the Titans in that playoff game. So I just, it's good for the Bengals. They got their guys locked up. But I got to look at it from a bigger picture and go, I don't know. You could get a lot of receivers. You could get receivers anywhere in the draft, second, third rounders. And I get these kind of guys don't come around the block that often. I get it. But it's a little steep for me. I get it 100%. The Bengals paying their receivers. Joe Burrow, keep him happy because Joe Burrow, like Carson Palmer, he was about on the way out the door. I don't blame him 100% on that. I do not blame Carson Palmer feeling that way 15 or so years ago. And I don't feel Joe Burrow feeling that way because this organization's cheap. And finally, the Bengals are like, you know what? We'll open our checkbook. Let's pay these guys to keep our quarterback happy. Now, Burrow just keeps his mouth shut because I think if he would have been in a better, more stable organization, I don't think these kind of rumblings would happen. So, congrats to the Bengals. Congrats to Joe Burrow. He got what he wanted. 4 years, $161 million to Jamar Chase. And T. Higgins got 4 years, $115 million. So makes about, I saw the numbers, 26 for T. Higgins, 21 for Jamar Chase. So there you go. So I got to say this. It's been a week, guys. And the two biggest stars of my quarterback life, it was Peyton Manning, it was Tom Brady, it was Drew Brees, it was Eli Manning, it was Donovan McNabb, it was all these guys. The two lately that have been more polarizing, Mr. Badman Aaron Rodgers, and last name Wilson, first name Russell, have not been signed yet. Have not been signed. The teams that are interested in Aaron Rodgers is the Packers' hated rival, the Vikings. So I thought in my head today, is he going to join the Vikings? He's going to pull Favre. Packers, Jets, Vikings. Packers, Vikings, Jets. Packers, Jets, Vikings. It's like, woo, woo. But it goes to show again, you gotta, I want to be surprised, but I can't be. Because these guys are not collaborative. They're not all into the team. They're about themselves. This is not the NBA, okay? Like, we're not going to hold you hostage. Football's a team game. And I think teams look around, and then Aaron, when he did his whole blanket, and he's got the pods in, and I'm out. Put stop sign up. I mean, it's like anytime I go out sometimes and I see a girl vaping, I'm like, stop sign, I'm out. I can't do it. Can't do it. And I think with Aaron Rodgers, he's just, I can't even, put into words what he is. Somebody described me, what's Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. He's weird. This is along with his brother, he's doing shrooms, he's trying to find himself, which kind of is funny because in Green Bay, it was perfect fit for him, but they supported him with all of his prickliness and all that other shit, but Aaron had a wandering eye, and he pulled a Kevin Durant, where he's like, yeah, I'm going to go play with my buddies in Brooklyn. I'm going to play with the Jets. Okay, my homies. How'd that work out? Awful. And Aaron's to blame for that. So what comes back to this with Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, and again, he played pretty well down the stretch. 28-11. That's not bad. It's not what he was, but it's still pretty good. And it just goes to show you, man, likability matters in life. And these teams, man, I always heard this saying from Doc Rivers, if your production outweighs your problems, we'll stick with your ass. But if the problems outweigh production and they don't line up, I'm out. And I really feel like with Aaron, that's the case. And then I want to touch on Russell Wilson. It's the same thing I'm hearing. Russell, and I love him to death, he's got that way too over-the-top optimistic, kind of cringy, the Subway commercial. He's just robotic. He's just weird. And that's okay, and I've also heard the religious arrogance shit that kind of rubs people the wrong way. Wait a second. Hold on. Sammy's brain is going in a memory bank here, connecting the dots. Oh, yeah, that's Carson Wentz, who was an up-and-comer and then got hurt and was never the same, and then kind of had some teammates bang on him, and he never wanted to be coached. Darren Sproles talking about it. Well, what do you know? This is Russell Wilson. And he's not going to be a backup because that's just, he's just, at this point in his career, with both Aaron and Russell, they're not what they were. I think their play, Aaron can't move anymore. I think Russell still can to a degree. I saw that rush touchdown he had against the Chiefs on Christmas. So he can still have some mobility in the pocket. But he aged fast. And it's shocking to me he aged fast because he's one guy that takes care of himself in terms of the workouts, and he's doing all that stuff year-round. He's got his own training facility with Decker Davis. I saw a video of him with his trainer. And Aaron, I think he's just been so damn gifted, he's never had to try. And, Dan Marino was like this, Favre was like this. It's just funny to me, Aaron Rodgers turning into Brett Favre. They're both different personalities, different parts of the earth. One's from the hippie, riding the waves, man. 420, man. Woo! and the other one's a good old Southern boy. Crawfish, all that Southern shit you eat down there. And it just, at this point in their careers, I mean, the team's interested in Russell Wilson. Crack me up. The Browns and Giants, really? That's what we got into? And maybe Pittsburgh. Okay. It's just funny, man. I tell people this all the time. Likability matters. It just does. So that's all I want to get on here tonight. I got some more content coming out. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hit the like, subscribe, share button. Share it to your friends. Try and get the audience to get more out there. Have a great night. Godspeed. Have a great day.